Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. Today we're going to be making a naturally fermented peaches and cream bubbly soda. We're going to try it 2 different ways, with fresh peaches and with canned peaches. If you're interested, please stay tuned. The first step with the peaches is going to be to skin them. So all we're going to do is just take them and put them in the boiling water for about a minute, if we can fit them all in there. Okay, so the peaches are out of the hot water and we put them in a bit of cold water, and the way that you can tell when they're ready is when you push on the skin, or the peel just comes right off, and then you know it's ready. And you can just take them out of the water. So I'm gonna get all of these peeled and I'll bring you back when we're all done. So the next step is gonna be to get the pit out of these things. And for this particular recipe, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter a whole lot if you get them like intact, because we're just gonna mush them up. Okay, so the original recipe that I'm going with, that I got from everydayfull.com, calls for 5 to 6 cups of fresh or frozen peaches, and I have probably about 4 cups. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the fresh one. I'm gonna cut that recipe in about like 3/4, and so I have 10.5 cups of water in here. So the first thing that we're gonna do is just to add the peaches and the water and the sugar. So we're gonna do just over a cup of sugar. There we go. And then we're gonna bring this to a boil, and then we're gonna lower the heat and we're gonna let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. So we got that one going, and now we're gonna move on to the other one. And for that one, we're gonna use our home canned peaches and see if that will work. So for this one, I canned it in a simple syrup. So I got a little oxidized on top, but it'll work. So I'm going to go ahead and save the liquid from these canned peaches and use it as part of the recipe and also for the sugar. You can see that? Okay, so we have about a cup of liquid. And I'm just going to go ahead and do both of these jars. I'm kind of winging it. I tried looking up online if it was possible to use any kind of canned peaches or anything like that, or canned really anything in fermenting, because we're going to be adding whey to it. We don't have to, it doesn't need to be fresh. Like this recipe says, you can use frozen. So I tried looking it up and I couldn't find the answer, so I'm going to find out the answer for myself. So that's why we're doing both of these, because I have a good amount of canned peaches in there from about 2 years ago, I would say. So it's time to start using them, and so that's what we're going to do. And so we're just going to let these come to a boil, and then we're going to let them boil for about 15 to 20 minutes, and I will bring you back when these are all done boiling. Oh, and this one, the original recipe, calls for 14 cups of water. So we're gonna put 12 cups of water in this one. I cooked the raw peaches for 20 minutes and cooled them off completely. It's now room temperature. So the next step is to mush them up. with the potato masher or whatever you can get your hands on. And you want to get these all mashed up so that you can get all the juices and all the sugars and everything out of the peaches. Now for this part, the recipe doesn't call for it. It says to strain it through a fine mesh sieve, and I think I'm going to do that, but then I'm going to run it through my nut milk bag just to get all the little bits out. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and run all of these peaches through the strainer and then I'll bring you back. Okay, so I have both of the peach mixtures all filtered out. And now we're going to go ahead and just add this back into the pot. The recipe says to filter these into a bowl, and I just didn't have one to use at the moment, so I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to take the temperature. Okay, we're at 81, so that should be totally fine. So this one is the three-quarter batch, and so it calls for 3 to 4 tablespoons of vanilla extract. So I think we'll just do 2.5. Go. And then it also calls for, in the full recipe, it calls for 1 cup of whey. So we're going to put 3/4 cup. Should still have a cup left over for the other one, which I do. Now all we're going to do is just kind of stir this up a little bit. And we're going to put it back into our half-gallon jars here. Get it a little bit even. And then all we're going to do after that is we're just going to cover it. And we're going to set this on the counter or somewhere else in like a average room temperature area. And we're just going to let this ferment. It says from 3 to 7 days. And so I'm just going to keep checking on this, and when it starts getting a lot of bubbles, then I think that's probably the time that we're going to move on to the next step. And so I'm going to go ahead and finish up all of these, and then I will bring you back in a few days when we're ready to take the next step on this one. Day 5, and these canned peach ones are just going totally crazy. I'm going to jar these ones up in the morning, and I'll bring you along for that. And then the fresh one, surprisingly, isn't doing anything. So we're back. It's been 6 days since we left our peach soda to ferment. And so now all we're going to do is just put it in a bottle. So interesting. And you can see in the bottom, there's a bunch of settlement in the bottom, and I'm going to do my best to try and leave that in the jar. And I don't... So flowing. Oops. Alright. So I don't think you have to bottle this up, but if you want it to be like a soda and have it be fizzy, then you're going to have to bottle it up. Can't even put my finger around that smell. It's an interesting smell. Okay. I'll let that one settle a bit more. I don't have enough to make a whole new jar, so I'm going to go ahead and just leave it at that number. And then we're just going to cap them. I'm going to rinse the outside of the jars. And I'm going to leave them to ferment for probably another 2 to 3 days, because these ones are pretty darn active. So I'm going to make sure to check these often, just to make sure I don't have any kind of an explosion on my hands. And these ones are the ones where we use the canned peaches. And next, we're going to be the ones that have fresh peaches. So. Has some stuff kind of growing in it. Fresh peaches. I'm not super sure what it is. Bring it in for a close up. So you can see what it is here. It's not like furry or anything, it's just, it almost looks like a kefir grain. I'm gonna see if I can go ahead and get that out of here. It is. That's exactly what it's like, a kefir grain. That's so strange. I wonder what could cause that. I'm gonna have to look into that. All right, we're all clean. Air escape there. And this one, the same thing. It has like little kefir grains in it. That is so interesting. So for this one, I'm gonna go ahead filter it out because there's a little bit that are still in there. A lot of sediment on the bottom. Let's see what we can do here. And this fresh one definitely has more of a, it's not an overpowering, but it has a very mild kind of alcohol-y type smell to it. So whatever that means, it's a thing. And I'm gonna go ahead and try and find a few more bottles, and I'll be back. Not having much luck with this, they're all overfilling. Alright, so I think that's just about all that I'm going to be able to get out of these. I'm going to mark these so I know which one is which one is fresh and which one is canned. And then I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to set these aside for just a few days, and then I'm going to test them. And the way that I'll know that they're ready is when I pop one of the lids, they're going to pop basically. And so I will bring you back when we are ready to try one of these. It's been about 3.5 days since we bottled up the peach soda, and we have this one here with the F is the one that I used with the fresh one, and then we have this one here that we used the canned peaches. And I tested these out last night, and the one that I tested with the fresh one just about exploded. So I just took all of them and put them in the fridge last night. And then this one had a pretty fair amount of fizz to it, but it wasn't anything super crazy. So I left it out, and then just earlier today, I went ahead and put one of them in the fridge, and I'll probably go ahead and let the other ones keep on fermenting. So we're just gonna go ahead and give these ones a try. I'm gonna bring you guys in for a close-up so you can see what it looks like when you're actually opening it up. Okay, so we'll go ahead and try this one first. This one is the canned peaches. Almost nothing. Bummer. Okay. So now for the fresh one. Bottle top is going crazy here. You can see the... I'm super nervous. Okay. Stand back. So now it's time to give these a little taste test. We're going to go ahead and try the canned one first. That one's gross, don't do that. Oh, that is so foul. It just, I don't even know how to describe the taste. It's very bland and bitter. Yeah, bland and bitter. Like there's no pear taste or peach taste to it at all. It's just kind of, ugh. Okay, let's see if we can get this one poured out. Going crazy. There we go. Let's wait for it to settle down a little bit. That made me kind of nervous to try this one. That one's good. Has a very, very, very slight hint of alcohol-y taste to it. It's sweet, it's bubbly, it is really good. This one definitely try. And now I know the answer to the question. You should not try to ferment already canned, even if it's home canned. Shouldn't try and ferment home canned, at least peaches. I might try one or two other different kinds, we'll see, throughout my time of fermenting. But for now, don't waste your time on the canned ones. Use the fresh ones. This is delicious. I've never tried making any kind of a whey fermented drink of any kind whatsoever, and I'm totally gonna try it again. Thank you for watching. I hope you give this a try in your own home, and if you have any other great ideas of any kind of fermented sodas or anything of that sort, please leave it in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please hit that like button, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.